Welcome back everybody to my channel. My name is Xlay, as you now hopefully know. Now this video is a recommendation from Unbeatable Gaming. So a quick shout out to him, go check out his channel. He loves gaming. He plays a lot of Terraria, so go check out his channel. He's got some great content. Now, to the video. So I've seen a lot of questions over the year talking about Minecraft bosses. Does the game need more bosses? Does it not? Would a boss really even be good for the game? And do people want to go through the hassle of even, fighting a new mob that maybe won't add anything to the game? You'll understand that more when I get to later in the video. So, I wanted to make a video on this. Does Minecraft need more bosses? You know how my channel goes. I'm going to be breaking it down in depth. Let's get to breaking it down. First one I wanted to start off with is, does the community actually want more bosses? And this is an important one because the community is kind of what makes a video game. If you don't have a community, a video game is it really even a video game if you don't got a community? So I went on fandom, I asked a few people, do they really want more bosses in Minecraft? Here's the results. I feel like there should be an underwater Kraken. I've actually seen a recommendation for this a ton. Like, over the past few years since the update Aquatic, I've seen a lot of people say they want an underwater boss mob. And I'm going to be 100% in agreement here. Minecraft's ocean depths should have a boss mob. It's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Maybe not everybody agrees, but I would like to have some sort of, at least some challenging mobs in the ocean. There's really nothing besides drowns. I mean, you don't have much. I mean, you got the Elder Guardians, but honestly, you can kill them pretty easily in Iron Gear. So, I think the oceans need stronger mobs. And while an underwater Kraken seems quite far-fetched, because I don't think that's quite far-fetched. The underwaters would probably have to be a little bit bigger. So I don't think that would happen. But I would like to see stronger mobs in the oceans. I want an Illager mob that spawns in woodland mansions like Arch Illager, called the Awaken, an evoker boss. I like this idea. The Arch Illager is from Minecraft Dungeons. It is the main enemy in Minecraft Dungeons, and I'm going to make a video on this talking about Minecraft Dungeons and how we need to update from Minecraft Dungeons to the main game. Everything about this I like. Woodland mansions are so bad. They're the worst structure in Minecraft, which is weird because they're the biggest structure in the game, but they're the worst. You travel thousands of blocks to find them, and they have nothing. I just slapped my notebook, hopefully you didn't hear that, but they have nothing. I traveled 20,000 blocks in my Let's Play world to find a woodland mansion, and I came back home with some banners. Whoop-de-doo, I got some banners. It's traveled 20,000 blocks for that. I know. So, a woodland mansion boss would be a great idea. And I like the name Awaken. That sounds interesting, and I think if there was like coming from the recent comment, an Awaken would sounds like a pretty good name for an underwater Kraken. Awaken, Kraken, I like that name. But a woodland mansion boss would be perfect because not only does it completely splice up the woodland mansions, because they suck already, they're the worst structure in Minecraft, it adds deeper lore, it makes the game more challenging, and again, makes you have a reason to go to the woodland mansions, because I found out firsthand and the hard way that woodland mansions are completely useless. I would not recommend traveling there. If you want to travel there for adventure, just for fun, do it, but I traveled 20,000 blocks for a few banners, so wouldn't recommend it. I don't feel like there should be another boss, unless it is in another dimension that could be added, because I feel like the bosses are fun and enjoyable, especially in their surrounding area. Let's look at this, and I agree with this statement full-heartedly. They say they don't think there should be another boss unless there's another dimension that it could be added in. I like that. Because if you think about it, the Ender Dragons in the end, there isn't really an overworld boss. There is technically a nether boss, if you think about it. There technically is, and that's the Wither. Technically, I mean, most people fight it in the overworld. If you fight it in the nether, you're very risky. Most people fight it in the overworld, but I would consider it a nether boss. Now, a new dimension is something I'd say a good percent of the community probably wants. Another dimension would be awesome to see. And in another dimension definitely needs another boss. If another dimension were to be added, another boss should be added with it. They also say that they feel like bosses are fun and enjoyable, especially in their surrounding area. I like this. I like this idea because let's look at the Ender Dragon. It has an extremely, very interesting, and pretty cool, I must say, fighting environment, fighting arena is what you might call it. You have to take down all the pillars to make sure it doesn't regenerate. It's a pretty typical boss fight, but gotta get down out those pillars, and then you can attack it. Unless you're on Java Edition, then you can just kill it with beds. But I play Bedrock Edition, so I'm going off of what I have to do. It makes the boss fight very fun and enjoyable. Now the Wither, not so much. Not so much for the Wither, because you could kill that thing in 10 seconds. I'm not even joking. I killed the Wither in 10 seconds, and this isn't a flex, because the strategy I used, if you see my Let's Play world, I have a massive obsidian box in that world. In that box, I surrounded it with multiple layers of obsidian. In that box, I just fought the Wither in there, and I had strength 2 and an enchanted golden apple. You can kill it in 10 seconds. Honestly, though, it doesn't take long. It doesn't even require that many good weapons. I did use a netherite sword, but seriously, though, it doesn't take long to kill. So, I think the Wither's stronger than the Ender Dragon and harder to face, but not as enjoyable as the Ender Dragon. So if there was another mob added in the game, would 100% agree with this statement. Should be added with another dimension and not just added plainly and blatantly into the game, because that wouldn't make much sense. And it would be very enjoyable to see a very different and new fighting environment. Let's get on to the next key point. Now this seems kind of like a stupid question, right? Would a new boss really add anything? It seems like a dumb question. Of course a new boss would add something. Not exactly. If Mojang just throws a new boss into the game, it would be so pointless. I agree with the last statement. I was just talking about it. It should be added with a new dimension. That would be great. That would be great because not only do we get a new fighting environment and a new fighting arena, that would be great to see in its own right, it adds lore and history to the boss, which is what you want with a boss. The Ender Dragon and Wither both have lore and history, obviously major ties to the lore and history of Minecraft, the game itself. So, if you're going to add a boss to the game, it needs to have a purpose, a reason, some lore, some history attached to it. It needs to have a big purpose in the game, because if you're going to throw a boss into the game, and it's just there for some challenging, for late game players, for just a fight, honestly, what's the purpose of it? I mean, maybe it'll drop something cool, maybe it's just fun in general, but that's pointless, because it doesn't add stuff. The lore is thrown out the window in that case, and maybe what it drops is completely useless, kind of like the Elder Guardian that drops a sponge. But yeah, this could seem like a stupid question to some, but if Mojang were to just throw a random boss into the game, and it wasn't added with something else and really didn't have any lore, would it really be adding anything to the game? This last point I really want to touch up on and really want to talk about. What's Mojang's secret plan? What are they setting up here? And I want to focus key and point on the Warden. I'm going to be making a video on the Warden hopefully this year. Probably not. It probably might be out by the end of the year, later next year, who knows. But I want to theorize about the Warden. So the Warden, a mob that can kill you in 2 hits, is confirmed to not be a boss in Minecraft. I think there's something a little bit off about that. Why would Mojang not consider this mob a boss? I mean, it could kill you in 2 hits with full netherite gear, for crying out loud. Now, Mojang might change that. I don't know. I hope they don't. But at the moment, why is a mob that's able to kill you in 2 hits not considered a boss? Well, what I think is the Warden is going to actually be guarding a portal to another dimension, which is going to be added in 1.18. 1.18 is going to be, I don't know, some sort of dimension update. And in that dimension update is revealed what the Warden's actually guarding this whole time. Because the Warden's name, it's the Warden. Now, most people believe it's going to be guarding the strongholds, and that makes perfect sense. I can get that, and I'm going to talk more about this in the theory video on the Warden. But just to quickly touch up on it and explain this, I truly believe that the Warden's guarding a portal to a new dimension, and in that new dimension is a super powerful boss, more powerful than the Ender Dragon. This boss has to be super powerful, because why the heck would the mob guarding the boss be weaker than the boss itself? Now, in some video games, the guard is more powerful than the boss, but I think here the boss is going to be extremely powerful, and you're going to need netherite. And it's looking like Mojang is pushing players to get netherite before whatever is going on here, because if the Warden's guarding the stronghold, and you need netherite to kill the Warden, why would the Warden actually be guarding the stronghold if you can kill the Ender Dragon relatively easily if you're experienced in the fight, and you have full netherite? Even as an inexperienced player, you can kill the boss, the Ender Dragon, with iron gear. So, what is Mojang setting up here? Conclusion time. So, conclusion to the video, does Mojang need to add more bosses to Minecraft? For me, it's a no. I don't think so. I already said what I think is going to happen, but it's a no for me. Instead, what I want to see happen is just some more challenging mobs. Instead of bosses, Mojang just should add some challenging mobs to the game, for late game players such as myself. I have full netherite gear at my Let's Play world. I've beaten the Wither and the Ender Dragon both twice. I don't find much of a challenge in facing many mobs anymore. Mostly, it's just my stupidity that gets in the way and causes me to die. But in that case, other than my stupidity, I don't find a challenge in facing many mobs in the game. Unless I'm getting overwhelmed with, like, gas or magma cubes. But that's it. There's not a challenge with many of the mobs. And I'm going to be making a video on that very, very soon, because I strongly believe that Mojang needs more stronger hostile mobs. Stronger mobs just in general. The mobs need to be much more powerful for late game players, because once you're late game, I mean, what are you really doing besides, just building, experimenting with random things? For God's sake, I place crafting tables all over my world. I don't have a challenge with facing mobs anymore, because there aren't powerful enough mobs in the game to face with full netherite. And I think that's where the Warden comes in, because guess what? The Warden can kill you in 2 hits with full netherite gear. So I'm very excited to face the Warden when 1.17 Caves and Cliffs comes out. And that leads us to the end of the video. If you all did enjoy this video, please leave a like, consider subscribing. Sorry for no video yesterday, was super busy the day before, wasn't able to record or edit. Because if you didn't know, I record and edit videos a day in advance. You know how it do be though. Please let me know your thoughts on this. Does Minecraft really need more bosses? You know how it do be though, and I will see you then.